Well, good afternoon. I'm Anne Marie Tiernan along with Sean Ash, joining you at 2 o'clock on this Tuesday to make sure that you have the very latest weather information. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask about your specific area to Sean, you can do so in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them here live or even follow up with our team of meteorologists so that you have all the information you need to know.
But I want to know how much snow in my backyard to the 10th of an inch.
And I tell you what, the weather story is just very different. We've been tracking this, and boy, the big changes that we've seen from this morning until now. You know, I have my hometown is Fort Wayne. My brother lives in Allen County. He showed me a picture out his front door, just wet, just rain. He's like, oh yeah, a lot of, you know, muss and fuss. 8:40 this morning, 1:40 this afternoon, so really just 20 minutes ago. Sent me a picture of before and after. I'm going to post them up on Twitter where you can watch them, and on Facebook too. And you can just see, like, boy, that weather story has really changed. A lot of wet stuff. And in Frankfort now, really.
And we lost our camera here. If Kyle, if you have your ears open, we lost that NDOT camera in Clinton County, I-65, an absolute mess. And
there's a whiteout.
And we were, all right, let me go back to this. So take a look here. You know, a couple things I wanted to pound home the last couple of days. You know, Indianapolis, much of today was just going to be like it is, raining. But we were saying north and northwest was going to get slammed, and that's what's going on here. Look at this. I mean, they are within this band of heavy snow. From there, I want to take you, this is Crawfordsville, Montgomery County on the other side of this snow fence. And this is Kokomo, a little lighter right now. That will change. So let me show you what's going on. I'm going to move the map around here. This is live Doppler 13 radar showing the rain-snow line that's moving across central Indiana here. So here you go. You got Sharpsville. There's Frankfort. There's the Frankfort. It gets right along that Frankfort exit of I-65. And it's cutting into Boone County now. And eventually will drift into Hamilton County within the next couple of hours. And I want you to know this will also impact Indianapolis. And by the time we get to 8 p.m. this evening, and I'll dive in and I'll show you this in just a moment, the gradient of snowfall over a short distance is going to be jaw-dropping here. And this is only the first phase. Now, if you're watching us in Shelbyville, if you're watching us in Bloomington and Bedford and Richmond, nothing to worry about this evening. We will be concerned about this freezing line getting in. Now, you notice I went from current time to model time here, and you can see the model's a little too quick with the cold air. But the overall idea is that this rain-snow band will work into the metro area. It's obviously hitting into northwest Boone now, and then it will gradually work down toward the southeast. And there will be a period where we're going to have a pretty decent burst of snow here before this thing wraps up. Now that's the first phase. Remember, we said there's 2 chunks, so that will be the first one. Let me show you what I was talking about. I'll get a little closer here. So that's at 9 o'clock. Let me get you more to current time. So watch as the temperatures drop here, and then look at Lebanon, Crawfordsville sitting in the 20s with heavy snow. So we conceivably, Crawfordsville and Lebanon, 6+ inches of snow by 8 p.m. That's with the first wave. We want you to know that there is going to be deteriorating road conditions. I think even in Indianapolis, we're going to have a situation where we have possibly 1 to 3 inches of snow from the city to, say, up toward Traders Point, over toward Eagle Creek by 8 o'clock. But Beech Grove might just have a little glaze, might have a little dusting. New Pal might not have anything at all with this first chunk. But the roads will get bad regardless of what you have. Now I want to talk about phase 2. This is tomorrow morning. All the data that I've looked at is suggesting that ice right along I-70 is going to get thumped tomorrow with heavy snow. We've been talking about the wild card. The wild card is how far north will the sleet make it? and does it, because usually what happens in this situation, just north of the snow sleet line is where you can get some pretty intense snow rates. That will lower snow totals, not necessarily impacts, but it will lower snow totals across areas south of I-70, where there's still a pretty good deal of uncertainty. We feel pretty confident at this time that Indy is going to have this is going to be a big hit of snow for a good portion of our area here. So the 12 to 15, Lafayette, Kokomo, and Peru, pretty sizable chunk of that happens with the first phase. That 9 to 12 that cuts through a good portion of the metro, not all, but pretty decent chunks going to fall tomorrow. And whether or not we get a double-digit snow in Indianapolis to be determined. I will tell you, whatever happens in your backyard tomorrow, we are not recommending travel. That's just it. And I think everybody's been trying to pound that home, even this afternoon and evening, up to the north and northwest here. So there's still a little wiggle room. We might massage the map a little bit. Like I said, the sleet could cut into some of those totals south of Indy, but yeah, I mean, this, tomorrow is just, and another thing about tomorrow too, it's going to be colder, Like today, we're roughly, some of that heavy snow, some of it's becoming more slushy. That won't be the case tomorrow. We're going to be in the teens. This thing's going to be ripping here.
The governor earlier today at 11 o'clock had a press conference, and he was joined by members of the Department of Homeland Security and state police. And, they were talking about how this really is going to be the first in recent history of a weather event that impacts the entire state.
Yeah.
From South Bend and the region and all the way down to the Ohio River. We have a lady here on Facebook, Brooke Davis, said, at this point, I don't think Decatur County will see any snow.
Yes and no. Today, not so much.
Maybe not today.
Tomorrow, probably more sleet. And that's what we've been saying. That's kind of the wild card. But I still think a couple inches, 2-3 inches of snow. I think we've got them in our 3 to 6 zone because there's still a little wiggle room with how much sleet might occur down there. But it's still going to be nasty, because as this storm departs, let's say, we throw down half an inch to an inch of sleet, and then we throw on another inch to snow on top of that.
It's not going to melt.
And then we're dropping temps into the teens to near single digits, and then sub-zeros. Mess. Yeah. Absolute mess. And you mentioned Ohio River. Coincidentally, my mom is up here helping the kids. She drove up from Louisville. They're under an ice storm warning. So, near south of the Ohio River, big-time ice concerns.
Yeah. We have Elizabeth Riddle Wilson, who is 15 minutes from Crawfordsville, already has 4 inches of snow there. So that's what we're seeing. Talking about the situation from Crawfordsville northwest of here and Shelbyville east of here. The big difference in the situation at this hour, but over time, it's a coming.
Yeah, I mean, and we just updated the blog. I just tweeted out about this gradient. And I mentioned specifically Crawfordsville by 8 o'clock is going to be probably in a 7, possibly 10 inch, because it will come down quick. This is a real heavy band of snow here. So
still rain in Marion right now, so we know that's along the I-69 corridor northeast of here, traveling up through Madison and all the way up to Allen County.
Yeah, I'll put up, hang with it there, Thaddeus. And if Kyle gets a different camera, let me know, and I'll punch up the other NDOT. So here's, you can see the progression of this, and one thing that it's this big battle zone, all kinds of moisture here. There won't be sometimes we have a transition where we go from rain and you got this period of sleet, and then this is more of a, hey, it's raining, a little bit of sleet, boom, heavy snow. You see those dark colors there on live Doppler 13 radar. That's it. So it's easy to understand why Crawfordsville is already at 4 inches, and that's already moved into Lebanon. I mentioned on the noon show today that Lebanon also, by the time we get to 8 o'clock, could have a quick 6 to 7 inches of snow already. But contrasted by the southeast, Beach Grove again, maybe by 8 o'clock, maybe a quick inch. But Shelbyville and Knightstown likely won't have much snow by April. So it's this really, even across Hamilton and Boone counties and Madison County. So, you know, Pendleton may have anywhere from 1 to 3, but you get up to Elwood tonight by 8. You might already have, you know, 5 or 6. It's gonna be a fascinating, over a short distance, how impressive this first snow band is going to be here.
Ice reported on the roads in Lebanon here from Bambi Burkhart says that her friend has reported that there. You know, so we've got a lot of people from Anderson, Marion, you know, Frankfort area that are just saying, you know, we just don't see it. It's raining. We've stayed home from school. We stayed home from work, and it's just rain.
Thaddeus, and where was this one again, partner? I'm sorry. Okay. Roger that. Yeah.
So this is along I-65 northwest, up there in Boone County.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the other problem too. Is you know, I feel the road crews, and we've addressed it, and they've addressed it. They could not, you know, couldn't get the pre-treatment down because of the rain, and now we're in the snow band, and now, oh, by the way, temperatures are falling. So the roads are going to be a mess. Hopefully, we're able to get your stuff done as this thing progresses. So yeah, that's I-65 there in Lebanon. And let's go back to live Doppler 13 radar here, and you see how this thing is moving in. And we have such a big viewing area. That's when we get into these situations. And you know, how about this too? You know, Crawfordsville's sitting at, you know, the lady said she had 4 inches of snow on the ground, almost 60 degrees yesterday. I know some people were saying, come on, man, come on. And you know, the atmosphere is the atmosphere.
Right, and we've said people are like, okay, so when's it going to start to warm up? We're talking about, you know, it's warmer now, temperatures are going to drop, we're going to get all this precipitation in varying forms, north to south, east to west, and then it's going to be this Arctic air. When will things start to melt?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit. I'm going to tell you right now.
Sunday?
We may get close to freezing on Sunday. So this is a graphic. I want to say thanks to Kelly Green for putting in some legwork on this. Kind of a different way to tell the weather story. So you can see the timeline. Now for Indianapolis, that's more for the city. You're going to get it sooner, that burst of snow. It lightens up, and then it will pick up around and after 5 a.m. Bloomington, rain much of the evening, and then it turns into a mix there, and you can see Lafayette. Lafayette's in the heavy snow. So let me spend a little time on this. I don't want you to focus necessarily on the temperatures. Just focus on the movement of the band here. Okay, and when we get to 8 o'clock, it's just, you know, Morristown, Newcastle, probably aren't going to have a whole lot. Crawfordsville, 7+ inches. Lebanon, close to 7 inches. You know, that's just how this particular first phase is going to work out. And then we'll get in. You know, like I said, we'll get into the second part of it going into tomorrow.
And I want to just kind of update you a little bit on what we've learned from the city, that the city has been working to prepare. They've got the city and the state. The state has about 1,000 trucks that they plan to have out working on 12-hour shifts. The city also has got, they say they got plenty of what they need, the salt and the brine to treat the roads. At Riverside Park, the mayor is there right now, and they're setting up a warming center, and they also have worked with a food pantry. So if you want to go there, if you're in the metro area where right now it's still rain and it's still relatively safe to travel for the next couple of hours, go there and you'd be able to pick up some food and take that back to help you and your family over the next couple days if you're disadvantaged in that way. If you see sleet, snow, rain, and you think it helps tell the weather story where you are, we'd love to see it. So you can see it, snap it, and share it. You can text it to us. The number's 317-655-5740. We're just working on getting those graphics up.
I'll get back in the shot
That's
here,
okay. And you can also post it up on social media, share it on Facebook or Twitter. Just tag Sean, me, Angela, any member of our weather team, Scott Swan, and we'll make sure that we get those pictures pictures out there, because it really is, it's one thing to say, yeah, they got a lot of snow there. It's another thing to see the pictures of what people are dealing with.
Tells a story.
Yeah, and we're also talking about shoveling. You know, you really do. You can talk all you want about making sure you don't bend over and protect your back and all this stuff, but the fact of the matter is snow is really heavy, and you haven't been out shoveling snow recently. Well, now, if you've been here.
So the first part of this is a wet, heavy snow. More fluffy tomorrow, going to get blown around a bit, and you know, we talked about big changes of weather over a short distance. Pop it up, Thaddeus. Show them what it looks like here. 30 in Lebanon, 40 downtown. Plainfield, which is near the airport, now has gone. This is the front. This is the front. And hang with me here. I'm going to change the color palette on this and make that snow pop a little more. We can see the. There you go. So that's, you know, you can see the heavy snow that's ripping in Lebanon. We showed you the scene there from Crawfordsville. So notice Zionsville. Zionsville dropping to 32 now, and we'll start to see this sub-freezing air work from northwest to southeast. And by the time our shows technically start at 5 o'clock, we'll be doing stuff more before then. But even between our 5 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. hour, I think.
Sounds like we're going to see a real big change.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, let's put Sean outside. I'm like, good, let's do it, baby, because you know how much I love this stuff. Look at that. I mean, whew, boy, we're getting into silver dollar flake territory there. That's in Frankfurt. I mean, look at, well, let me go back. Sorry that we lost our Lebanon camera. Look at that. I mean, you know, and so I think this is a nice idea to show you that this is what the majority of roads tomorrow are going to be like.
Crystal Brown says Darlington looks like a snow globe.
Yeah.
Billy Leslie, any updates on County Road snow emergencies on no travel?
Oh boy, I just peeked at that.
Snow starting in Rockville, thanks to Carrie Higgins.
Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, I do believe there are already a few. Just give me a moment on that, and I'll try to look at the DHS website. I suspect those are going to ramp up here. Doesn't happen a lot in Marion County. I'm trying to think. The last time it might have been the March storm of 2018. Before that, it would have been probably January 2014. We were shut down for several days on that one. But I mean, impressive radar. It's just an impressive radar representation of this. Those darker, boy, I need to get my John Madden telestrator here. Those darker shades that you see emerging north of Terre Haute, Crawfordsville, Lebanon, Frankfurt, that is, you know, when she said it looked like a snow, that's heavy snow right there. That's
right, so a heavy dense snow now, but also we've been talking about 2 waves of this system and wind moving in tomorrow, and a different type of snow that could be impacted.
That's what's on deck for tomorrow. All right, so this is, I'll just kind of play through, because I think this kind of a nice way to show how this thing moves through this evening here. So there we are at 5 p.m. I mean, we're going to have a burst of snow around Indianapolis, you know. As we get closer to 8 or 9, you'll notice that the coverage of precipitation eases, and we may actually have a fairly benign stretch for a bit. You see the mix that's going on across southern Indiana. And then once we get up tomorrow morning, we're back in the thick of this. And I'm still thinking between 4 or 5 a.m. and 5, 6 p.m., that's when we're just going to be in steady, moderate to at times heavy snow. We will, if the sleet band, excuse me, goes south, we will have, you know, it's almost, again, it's pick your poison across southern Indiana. Do you want more snow? Or you're okay with some sleet? That's still.
Yeah, in this mix, I think I would go for snow. But let's take a live look downtown right now along Meridian Street, and this cloud deck as we look south here from the station. This view as you look down from 10th Street down to Monument Circle. and you can see wet streets here in central Indiana. Also see that the library is there in the top left side of the screen. We have gotten word that the library, I believe, is closed now for the rest of the day and has already issued closures for tomorrow as well. So that would be the Indianapolis Public Library sending its staff home ahead of the weather changes that we have in the area. We do have a question from one of our viewers here on Facebook wanting to know, is there going to be thunder snow? Looks like strong storms coming in from the south. Question mark,
I haven't seen
point.
Cantori around here. Not going to completely rule it out.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm not going to completely rule it out. I think the odds are low, but I'm not going to rule it out.
Right. So I know that you're busy tweaking the forecast.
Yep.
Angela Buckman, Chuck Lofton, Lindsay, Kelly, all working together, team effort here, working on the graphics, work on finalizing the accumulations and really kind of putting your collective heads together to sort out and adapt as time ticks on.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you want to kind of, be consistent with the messaging. Sometimes you have to tweak the snow amount. Sometimes it's a drastic change. You try not to do that. But yeah, I mean, the main message points I think are still spot on here. Just know that this evening it is going to get worse. Quickly. Yes.
That's the key.
Yeah, and then tomorrow, as we've been trying to say, just
hibernate.
If you can. I understand some can't, and if you can't, just make sure I know it sounds like we're not speaking to you like a child. Just make sure you got your car packed with whatever you need. If you do have to get out there tomorrow.
Now, I feel like coming out of the pandemic, after spending so much time at home, I feel like we're prepared for this.
Well, that's true.
It's like, I know what that's like. When we stay home, we don't go out and we don't see people for days after days. And, hopefully for the kids, they have some fun in the snow. They can go out and build some snowmen,
My kids are looking forward to it. My son is a worker. The kid loves to work, and so he's already, the neighbors said, hey, you can come shovel our porches and stuff like that. And hey, if you can help your neighbors, especially our elderly neighbors, if you can, throw some elbow and back grease into that bad boy,
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we're going to be here every hour on the hour on the air. 13 News. We got our full team coverage, comprehensive coverage, people north, south, east, and west, starting at 5, and we are going to stay with you. We're going to make sure you're weather aware and answer your questions to the best of our ability. Thanks for watching.